Awesome. Peg City Soundoff. We're back. September 8th. It's a Monday. I should be in LA right now, but here I am with a brand new sponsor of the month here for September, the Manitoba Loud Awards, coming up October 11th. Um, I think tickets, there's still some physicals if you talk to the members of MLMA, and $45 or $50 at the door. That, once again, October 11th coming up, sponsor for all of September. So tonight's episode, a little bit of a special one. As I said before we went live, maybe one of the most accomplished guests I've had on the Peg City Sound Off tonight, Derrick Gottfried. I mean, there's so much we could go over with so little time.
How do we start? No, I appreciate your intro. That was nice.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we were talking a little bit before, and you're telling me who you've had on, and I'm like, man, those are some great guests. So I mean, yeah, kudos to you, man.
Yeah. No, it started here just over a year ago, September 2nd. We just had the 1 year show. There's 27 guests came on the other night.
Wow.
Well, I say 27. I think some people didn't make it. But we had a lot of people. It ran for just over 3 hours. Great episode. And yeah, and we're back. Double header tonight. Derrick Gottfried and then Paradise on Fire coming up right after. Young band Otis Steinbach that
Amazing.
recently saw. But let's get to the guest tonight, Derrick. Why don't you just let's start off with just give it, not that you really need an introduction, but give us the introduction. Who is
Well, yeah,
Derrick
I mean,
Gottfried?
yeah, I don't know if we where do we start from. Um, like I think around, especially around Winnipeg, and I mean other parts of Canada, I think I'm just known as, if they know who I am, they know me as the guitar player in Harlequin. Which for I mean, I think it's a vintage thing, but I still meet a lot of people who are young. I'm relatively young to me, in their 20s and 30s, saying, "Hey, yeah, yeah, I know you from Harlequin, or my dad's favorite band, or from Winnipeg, or whatever." Um, but yeah, I mean, for 25 years now, that's what I've been doing, among other things, of course. As a Canadian musician, you you do what you got to do to make a living, and I've played in corporate bands, and I play in other recording acts as well. But I think, yeah, that's where I think the bulk of my recognition comes from, is Harlequin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the original guitar player, Glenn Willows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, if the backstory would be that I moved to Winnipeg from Toronto. I'm from Winnipeg, moved to Toronto in the early 90s, and then moved back to Winnipeg in the late 90s. And Glenn Willows was heavily involved in artist development. And, basically when I moved back, I knew that he was doing that, because some of the bands that he was working with and developing were getting some recognition out east. And I did some demo and stuff like that, and I just got straight to him. And he was really good to me. Like, he embraced me and got me working with a couple of his bands and stuff like that. And it wasn't long. It was probably like 1999 by the time he said, "Look, would you do a Harlequin show?" And I jumped at that, because I grew up listening to Harlequin. I think the first time I
Mm-hmm.
saw him, I was 15 years old, and I had one of their tour shirts and stuff like that. So it was that's kind of the backstory and how I got into playing with Harlequin. And the funny thing is, he's, like, in true sort of eccentric musician fashion. I think he asked me on a Monday or a Tuesday if I would go on the road on a Thursday. So I got the show together and left, and yeah. So I mean, that's how I got involved in playing with Harlequin. Um,
Awesome.
yeah,
And so that's so 99. So my goodness, yeah, been some time.
it has. And the original singer, George Boulanger,
Mm-hmm.
he has said to me, on more than one occasion, "You're not an original member, but I've played with you longer than I've played with anybody else in my life." Like, um, the thing about that band was, and I mean, yeah, I got to give all the accolades to those guys. That original band was a phenomenal band. Um, and like it happens, especially in the Canadian music environment. where a great deal of success isn't quite near as well. It's not measurable compared to if you had that same level of success in the United States, of course. And they really didn't break the borders. You know, they kind of remained a Canadian band. And you know, you watch yourself go on your trajectory up, and on the way down is when they started losing members, and it happens pretty quickly. Like it happens in under a decade, right? So like, you know, I mean, I still know that the first time I saw Harlequin, it wasn't the 5 original members, but I've heard live recordings of that band. They're phenomenal. And of course, the records speak for themselves. They're great records. Of course, produced by Jack Douglas, who was doing, you know, Cheap Trick and Aerosmith. And at the time that he was doing the Love Crimes album, he was actually working with John Lennon at the time. I mean, that's huge. It's just
amazing.
Massive. So, I mean, they're really well recorded, really well produced, really well written albums. But, you know, yeah, by the time I think, you know, 1985 or something like that, I think the first guy to say I'm going to start doing something else, I think, was Ralph James. And I mean, people know him in Canada as the agent, right? Like he left that and I believe got involved with Hungry Eye Agency and then moved to Toronto and did the agency group, and you know is agent for like Nickelback and the biggest bands in Canada. So I mean, and he's always been the business guy. Like George said, he's not a great bass player. He'd sit there going like this, and people would say, "Man, you're into the music," and he'd be like, "I'm counting heads." You know?
Yeah.
You know, you do a back end deal where you're getting a low pay, but a percentage on the back end, and you're making sure that you've got, you know, the numbers in there. And he said, "No, I'm counting heads." You know,
absolutely,
it's kind of a joke, but honestly, it's the way he functions. I saw him recently, actually, at the Burt Block party. He was there, and you know, as far as the business end, he's sharp as a tack. I don't know his exact age, but I assume he's in the range of George and Gary, who it's astounding really to play with these guys. George turned 75 this year, and
unreal.
He still sounds great. And you know, he's still physically he's vibrant on stage, and he's kicking ass. So, you know, I guess until like I say to George, when do you think you see yourself stopping? He says, when they start throwing tomatoes. So, who knows?
What an iconic Canadian band, you know, when you talk about Canadian bands, and you know, there's so much going on, and Harlequin is always in there. You always hear the name, right?
Yeah, it's and just, I guess being from Winnipeg, I mean, we hear it all the time. I think because, you know, I mean, it's one of those things. Winnipeggers can be some of the very like they can be so proud of what they got. And then you've got the opposite. You've got some of the very self-deprecating, like only in Winnipeg, right? Yeah. Which I got a funny story about that one too. But yeah, I mean, all around Canada, you know, like I see, especially there's pockets where it's like, I'm astounded at the response that Harlequin gets, you know, especially in Alberta and BC, some of the places out east. Yeah, we're so well received. And, you know, like, for example, we went to Edmonton. Our Edmonton show last year was a sellout, and it was we were the only band. There was no opener. I think there was a local cover band did a 30-minute set before us, and it was, you know, it's astounding to see a place, you know, sell the capacity and just support us. You know, it's yeah, it's great.
It's 50th anniversary, is it not?
It is. So
unbelievable. That's
I mean,
crazy.
The first album actually came out in 78.
Okay.
So, I mean, when George says it's the 50th anniversary, I think he's talking more about it's 50 years ago that, you know, he recalls it was the summer of 75, getting in a van, and he tells me where they went. I can't remember, but yeah, and just, you know, load the PA out of the van and set up for the week and play, you know. So it was that band 50 years ago that started doing it.
Wow. And still releasing music though.
Yeah.
Everything we got, the new single.
That's our new single. I mean, I've been fortunate. to be, I guess, with George through a few phases of writing, but I really feel like we just released the single "Everything You Got" or "Everything We Got," sorry, um, and I think it's really come back because back to a real Harlequin sound. I don't know if you've checked it out, but there's other things that I've done with George that doesn't really sound necessarily Harlequin-esque. Whereas this, I think, really we've come full circle and mostly with the writing prowess of Chris Gaffney.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually the principal writer on that one.
Okay.
He had actually written that with a co-writer from Nashville, and the name escapes me right now. But yeah, basically George and I were just like small percentage contributors to the writing on that one. But yeah, I mean, I really and again, I can't, if whoever's checked it out, I can't thank enough. It's done really well, as far as the amount of streams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really happy with how it's been going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not sure if you see that comment there. Ronnie Ladderbrook kind of chimes in here.
Yeah, I
Harlequin
see
brings
it.
it. Yeah. I mean, great thing to hear from Ronnie. Such a phenomenal guitarist. Like two great guitarists
Absolutely.
on this podcast here.
Have you had him?
Ronnie? Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's a wicked guitar player, and again, like, such a great guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Humble.
I mean, I just love hanging with him. He has opened for us a couple times. He's always a pleasure to be around. He's such an encouraging guy, and such a he's a sweetheart. I love
Yeah,
the guy. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He has been on here a couple times now, I believe. I had him on a Guitar Gear night. I think it was that one, and then he was on by himself. But he also he played the festival I put on in July. He opened it. I had the balls to put him on first.
Wow.
Yeah,
You've
and
seen
then
the movie
that was
Walk
it.
Hard?
What's that?
You've seen the movie Walk Hard?
Yeah,
It just makes it hard for everyone after him to go
yeah,
on.
I know.
Like, you know how, like, I don't know if you remember the part in Walk Hard where, like, Dewey Cox shows up and he's supposed to play the opening set before Jerry, who's on before him, or who's on after him? Well, Elvis,
Yeah,
the Big Bopper,
yeah.
And who? Oh man, it's escaping me now. Anyways, and he's all like, "Yeah, you know what? Elvis wants to get out of here, man. You're gonna go on after Elvis," and he's getting all like choked up, like, "Holy shit, how am I gonna go on? You mean it's gonna be the Big Bopper, Elvis Presley, and then Dewey Cox?" And he's like shitting his pants, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it just makes it hard for everybody else to go on.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I think I made it tough on everyone after that.
That's awesome.
I always like the comments coming here. Orvis Thomas as well, singing on stage with George at South with Derrick on guitar was a highlight of my career. I mean,
I remember
great.
that night. That's probably one of the first times I met Orvis. Again, such a nice guy.
Yeah,
and really, like, I've seen him grow as a talent. He's really good.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Winnipeg is so rich with great musicians, especially guitarists. If I'm going to go there, I mean, just fantastic.
I agree. I mean, I had just a couple weeks ago. I had I've done it a few times recently, but I don't know if you know Barry Player.
Mm-hmm.
Just like probably one of the most technically proficient players I've ever seen. Just has a vision of what he wants to play and just achieves it. Like, he's so good. He actually, I took guitar lessons from when I was young. He's about a decade ahead of me, and I would, be either sneaking into the bar at 17 or whatever and seeing him play, and I'd be like, okay, like, I got to find out who this guy is. And I tracked him down and went to his place, and man, I just soaked up as much as I could. And again, a beautiful guy, like, such a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the just a few times now recently, we play together, and I think for people who maybe aren't guitar nerds, it might sound like superfluous guitar noodling, but that's fine with me, because it just goes on and on.
No, it's great. It's great seeing seeing great musicians play together. Even like No lyrics. Actually, this was a thing that came up one day. We were talking about instrumental music, multi-guitarists versus bands with vocalists. And, what do you prefer? What's your thoughts on it? And there were just some great comments about it, just about just watching two people playing, feeding off each other as well, right?
Oh yeah, there's a musical language for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Now, not only guitarist for Harlequin, you have your own single that came out here, "Heaven Help Us,"
Yeah.
which I've listened to. Obviously, I've been listening to it. Almost 8,000 plays on Spotify, at least.
Something
It's
like
up
that.
there. It's climbing.
I haven't been checking the numbers, and I really should be more on top of it. Because like I release it through CD Baby, and they make it so easy for you to track.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been, it's going to sound so stupid. I've been too busy to do it, but it should be the top of importance for me. And that being said, I have it. Well, yeah. So actually, Chris Gaffney sort of made me aware today that it's doing well, and it's still doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't added up all the other platforms, but like I know, iTunes and YouTube and all of it, it's many thousands of streams. And again, like for that, I can't say thank you enough to anyone who's done it. Like, for me, the recent, like the Derrick Gottfried project has never been a thing up until, recently. I'm not sure why I never really did do it. It's a confidence thing. I'm kind of a late bloomer in a lot that way, I've always just put myself as a guitar player in someone's band, but I've really loved doing it. It's been super fulfilling, and just to get the response like that is, again, I can't thank people enough, because I'm really doing it because I felt like it's something I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
sort of self-fulfilling, and just that people have jumped on it. I'm just overwhelmed by it. And that being said, I would say at this point too, like it's only going to be about 2 more weeks until the next single comes out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, this one, it's fantastic. I believe I messaged you earlier and just said the guitar work on it is just fantastic.
I
It's a
appreciate that.
great listen. It's a great listen, and obviously people are listening. So
Yeah. It's really just rootsy rock,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it. Right.
that's good though.
Thanks. I appreciate that a ton.
Tell me about talk to me about the recording of it. Do you do your own recording? Did you head into a studio? Who's involved in this?
It was a bit of a process. I demoed them a couple of years ago with Murray Pulver producing it, and I had Cody Awasiak play drums on it, and I had Julian Bradford play bass on it. And at the time, I felt that the work we did was possibly marketable, and it's great. Like it's not that it's not. Um, I took them to Chris Gaffney, and I asked him what he thought, and he thought that we should re-record them. And actually, one of the ones that I showed Chris, we didn't record yet. That's going to be happening in the next little while. But we recorded them a semitone higher, and I said, "What would you get better? What would you do better?" And he said, "I think we can get better vocals, And he said, like, we can try different things. And so, I guess better is all sort of subjective, but I'm glad we did.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel more comfortable trying to push myself to sing the semitone higher than we recorded it originally. So I basically, Chris Gaffney is the producer. I really put a lot of trust in him as a producer. I think he's so good at what he does, and he's again a proven track record too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been the recording process as of late, and I'm going to try to see probably about 3 or 4 more songs. Well, my plan is to release, say, 6 or 7, but I'm going to release them one single at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
And then in the end, on the last single, I'll re-release the first 7 as an album, and the newest song will be the single. I don't know if it's stupid or not. It's just a bit of a strategy that I'm trying to not release a whole collection and then start doing singles and people going, "Oh, I've heard it," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying that out.
Nothing wrong with that. I think that may be the way of things. You're starting to see a lot of bands releasing singles and then
Yeah.
it
Oh yeah.
creates the album. So there's no, I think it's the right track from what you're starting to see a little bit, right? That was actually you answered my question. My question to you is going to be, is this going to turn into an album? Well, I guess
That's the
so.
plan. That's the plan right now. I I even I don't know. If I'm reluctant or remiss to say that I do have an album title picked out, but I think I should wait
Hmm.
it's closer to that. Um, that point. You know.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned singles because I don't know if I should be mentioning this or not, but I think it's definitely happening. I was just recording today with Chris Gaffney. He has another Orphan Pump song coming out.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and I think the plan is there's actually a first album that was never released, and I think he's going to release that and with a new recording on it as well.
Wow.
And I think he's planning on doing it near the time where you have a. So I've been playing with the Pumps lately,
Mm.
stepping in for the great Steve McGovern or Pete Petrovic, whatever you want to, or not Pete, sorry, Lou Petrovic, Steve McGovern, like in whether it was Orphan or the Pumps. And yeah, we have a show, I guess October 18th or 15th, sorry, with Nazareth at the Burton Cummings Theater.
Mm-hmm. On
So
the farewell tour, I believe it is.
yes, they
Yeah.
say this is it. Although I'm starting to think this is a ploy that us old bands use. Come on and see us one more time, and we're back next year.
Yeah. Oh, it can't be worse than Kiss.
You know what? I honestly, I think it's hilarious in a way. Like for me, the pinnacle of that is like I remember in 1980, the Who doing their final farewell tour in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm that old, I remember it well. We were one of the few people at the time to have a VHS machine. My folks had a VHS machine, and I think I can't remember what it cost us. It was something stupid like $1,200 or $1,400, and with the remote control with a cord that is actually attached to the machine. And I recorded it. It was on what was called City Vision at the time. It was on 92 City FM audio and on City Vision on TV. And I recorded it, and I probably watched it a zillion times. And it's one of the reasons I probably play guitar today. But it was, I think, 7 years before they reassembled and played the US Festival, or 6 years or something like that. I can't remember.
Wow.
Not the US Festival, the Live Aid.
Oh yeah.
Live Aid. They reassembled and played Live Aid. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what happened. But yeah, they, and then after that, it's like, well, why don't we keep doing this? So
yeah, for sure.
they are.
Still
and
going.
They just played again, right, in Toronto.
Yeah. They fired or didn't fire Ringo's son from drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I liked him. I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Apparently Starkey was like quite influenced by Keith Moon.
Oh, okay.
But what drummer in that genre isn't, right?
Well, yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
What is the connection to Doc Walker?
I mean, I don't really know Dave, and so Chris and Dave, the two guys who are basically Doc Walker, and of course Murray was sort of one of those guys from Portage, right?
Yeah,
formed that band. I guess the connection is, my strongest connection was the sort of peripheral band members like Stephen Broadhurst, the drummer, and Brent Perrin, Shifty, the bass player. I've known them for a long time, and I think Murray wanted to get, again, Murray's been doing a lot of the producing thing. He's busy as hell doing that kind of thing, and he's great at it too. And I think he just wanted to pursue that more instead of touring, leaving town, stuff like that. So it honestly just kind of, things aligned. It just kind of fell into my lap at the time. I think they were coming back from that shutdown period in 2020, and just said, like, let's just try something new. And I think they said, let's try a couple shows together, and 4 years later I'm still doing it with them. And I don't really consider, they might not like me saying this. I don't really consider it a country show. It's pretty rocking.
Mm-hmm.
It's loud as hell. It's probably the loudest band I play with.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no. I mean, I remember even talking to Murray at one time saying, "Hey, what kind of compressor should I use? I've never played in a real country band before," and he said, "Neither have I." So, anyways, yeah, it's pretty loud rock and roll show, to be honest with you. So I just kind of fit right in, I feel. And there's never a, hey, you should clean up your tone or you should play more, whatever. Yeah, they just let me do my thing. Yeah. And it's funny getting into that sort of niche a little bit, that scene. I ended up playing with some other country acts as well, and I'm not sure how I ended up being a guy who ended up playing in some of these country bands. Like I ended up playing with Michelle Wright, who to me I thought was like the biggest country star at the time. I remember stealing cable in the 90s when I was living in Toronto, and basically I saw her and Shania Twain all day. It's like, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a little bit with Jay McCoy, and of course that great Canadian road trip is the three of them, and it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's there's a lot of dates in there.
There was. I don't know the who really assembled it. I think it was just something that was talked about between Chris from Doc and Jay McCoy, and I know that it really happened around the time that Jason McCoy was being inducted to the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who, if it was like, someone said, hey, here's what we should do. But the idea was, it's almost like a Highwayman show, like it's the Doc guys, Michelle in the middle, Jay on the right. And, we start with the Michelle tune, we do a Jay song, and then we go to Doc and we just rotate that 6 or 7 times, which ends up taking like 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about it is, again, not really being much in the country scene, like I knew Michelle's tunes, again, just because it's what I heard if I ever did turn on CMT at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Jay's stuff, like it was big stuff at the time, and it's the hits, like it's these bands in that scene doing their hits. And if you're doing what would be a short amount of songs from your catalog, like 6 songs, you're hitting them with your best stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it just seems like we're playing hit after hit. And when we first started, it was on the cusp of Jay being inducted, and Michelle would do her song, like welcome, these bands, and then Canadian Country Hall of Famer Michelle Wright, she'd play and she'd be like, and this guy's getting inducted next month, and then we'd hit some Jay stuff, and Jay would go, and future Hall of Famers, Doc Wright. So it's almost like the expectation is there,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I feel privileged to do that too.
Oh, for sure.
Stand up there with the caliber of players. Like, again, Jay McCoy is such a killer guitar player. And not that Chris and Dave aren't great either. It's just Jay does all that, that chicken picking country league guitar stuff that,
for sure. Do you find that going from Harlequin and just playing with them for years and then jumping into that country scene, do you find you evolved with your guitar playing as well?
I think my playing is, I mean, I do think it's evolving. And I strive to get better. I want to get better at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I hate having, when we're on the road, or there's certain times where you don't really get to work on your craft the way that I like to. Oh, there's
Robert Andreas.
Yo, bro. Yeah, I mean, there's times when you're on tour, I don't really practice. especially if we're doing, there was a tour we did where Doc did a half-hour show before Lone Star and Sawyer Brown. And it's like, man, we're just traveling and, doing catering and hitting the gym in the hotel and then doing your half hour and then getting back in the bus and traveling and, repeat. And it's like, I like to sit with my guitar and practice for an hour, but it's like in the back of the bus, it's cold and I don't want to do it in the front of the bus. There's really nowhere to do it. I mean, I could force it. I could probably try harder and do better, but that's when I get off a tour like that. And it's just like, I suck as a guitar player. I need to sit down for a week and play my guitar, Yeah.
Just talking to guitar players there, as you just mentioned, Robert Andreas, he's chimed in.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Hey, Robert, good to have you back on here. Hopefully you were safe the other night. Robert jumped on the 1-year anniversary show from the side of the road.
Oh, really? Eh?
He went live on the side of the road, and it started getting a little dark. So I appreciate you coming on, Robert, and we'll have you back on soon.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we're just running down the bands. Harlequin, Doc Walker, you got your solo stuff. And then the band that a lot of people know, about 15,000 a night, Mach 10.
Yeah, that's the thing
Mach
too.
10.
In fact, that's become, we started doing this, well, about this time last year. I was heavily involved with True North Sports and Entertainment, trying to get the concept ready for what they want to present. And it's tough because, I mean, it's a hockey game, but the game day producer, his name's Kyle Balharry. He's a great guy and so fun to work with. How can, I mean, his whole thing is he's got to make this engaging for outside the hockey time, right? Between periods, between like commercial breaks, all that stuff. So, I mean, the great thing about True North and Mark Chipman and all those guys, I think they're first of all, they're music supporters. And I know that Mark feels Winnipeg is kind of like a music center. We talked about it just a half hour ago. There's too much talent here. It's sort of, I think, and I really feel that too. It's almost, per capita. I just think that we're probably the richest in musical talent. I'm a bit of a homer too. So he, he's like, we need to have live music at these hockey games. And, again, it's not about the band, but we really want to bring something special to the hockey day experience. So we were developing this last year. This time they were building a stage, which isn't an easy feat in that arena because I mean, it's well known that it's, it's the smallest arena in the league still, or maybe it's one above, I don't know what they have in Utah, but, so we have to fit this stage in there. We don't want to lose any seats. And they managed to do it right above where the Zamboni drives out. I think they had to remove it once for, I forget what show that came in to get the semis in. But so the stage is there. It's definitely big enough to put a 5-piece band on. And, we try to do, we try to appeal to everyone who might be at the hockey game at some point during the year. Like we've done, stuff written within the last year, within the last decade, within the last, we've done, old R&B stuff. We've done country night, actually on country night. Well, of course we played all country. And we tried to do even like we did at the time, Beyonce's tune was big. So we did a little bit of that and then broke into like Boot Scootin' Boogie. And then we had Doc Walker come on stage and we did some Doc Walker. And I think, for anybody outside Winnipeg, like a good example is a friend of mine. Maybe this isn't a good example. A friend of mine, I don't know if you know who Paulo Netta is. He plays, he's been playing guitar in Big Rack.
Okay.
I've known him my whole life. So he was in town and he texted me, "Hey, I'm at the game. I see you on stage and stuff." So I said, let's hook up after the second period. So he comes down and we're hanging in the lounge. And he's like, I go to a fair bit of Leaf games. And he goes, "Man, is it boring compared to this?" And he goes, and like to have a band on a stage playing in intermissions. Like, in Toronto, everyone kind of goes and they do their corporate schmoozing thing, and the second period starting and like the arena's still half empty, and by 8 minutes into the second period they're starting to fill back up. It's not like that in Winnipeg, and it's almost like now that there's been times during the second intermission where it's like the bowl is still pretty full. And I don't know if True North is going to realize their beer sales are going to go down if they stay in the bowl to watch us play music. But yeah, I mean, there's just the presentation is, I think, I've been to a few games outside of Winnipeg too, and I mean, there's great games in like Minneapolis has a great game day experience. Yeah, there's obviously great hockey, in a lot of other places, but people who see what we do, I think they, from outside Winnipeg, they say, man, they got something going on here that is pretty cool. It's pretty special. And
Yeah.
I'm a hockey fan too. So I saw probably more Jets games live than I did last year. And well, I know that I saw more live Jets games last year than ever before. And every playoff game, they had us at every playoff game, which, again, there were some moments. I don't know if you're much of a hockey fan, but everyone knows that Game 7, where with 1.6 seconds left, we tied the game to go into double overtime. I know that as long as I live, I'll probably never see anything like that again. It's surreal to me that I was there, and
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love hearing about that. With Mach 10 and the Jets, and I've been to other games, 2 California games, right, LA and Anaheim, and agreed, the intermission just it's not the same, right? And for Winnipeg to be doing this with music, I mean, this is like the number one topic. This is the 82nd episode of the Peg City Sound Off, and almost every episode we talk about Winnipeg being the music capital of Canada. And it's not even kidding. I think it's every episode we talk about how great the scene is here, how incredible the musicians are here. And here we are, the Winnipeg Jets, and we got a band up there. I mean, people love music, right?
And for quite a while, for quite a number of years, Mark Chipman has said to me he'd love to do this. He's always wanted to do it. He knows that he doesn't want to sacrifice seats, but he has said, his exact words are, we're kind of like the Nashville North, and Nashville has been doing a band for a number of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Murray Pulver, when he lived in Nashville, he would sit in that band sometimes. And when I've subbed out the Jets game, because there are times that I'm on the road or doing, another show, a Harlequin show or whatever, that I have to replace myself in Mach 10. And so far, I think maybe other than one time, it's been Murray Pulver who subbed into the Mach 10 thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sort of picked his brain about it. I've been like, how does it compare? How do we compare to what's going on in Nashville? And I think he's, again, he would never, Murray's, again, such a great guy, and he never said anything disparaging about what happens in Nashville. But I mean, I think his the general sort of vibe of his response was that he thinks that we, he didn't say better. He just said, it's definitely tighter. Like, you're meddling sometimes like 2 or 3 songs together, and really filling up the if you're given like 5, because it's not always consistent. It has to do with TV, corporate stuff. Like, if you're given 5 minutes and 30 seconds, you fill up that 5:30. Sometimes it's like with 3 songs. He goes, in Nashville, we would just, start playing. Okay, we start playing, and we play a song, and we finish the song, and we're like, thank you, He said, here it seems like more of an event. And I think we want to even build on that. We want to make it, it's hard to say we want to put on a concert every intermission, because we have 5 minutes, 30 seconds sometimes. So yeah, we just try to do the best we can to make it a spectacle, Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have support from that company, from True North.
Absolutely. And you jam the times I've seen you've jammed a couple songs in together, right? And that's fantastic. You're appealing to a lot of people that way as well, right? As you said. Yeah. That's excellent. I will tell you, if I may go back to the beginning of me finding out about you, it was actually at a Jets game, and you were playing, and I was there, and I think it was the first time I saw you play at the game, and the guy I was with, he's like, "Oh, this guy you were on the screen." He says, "Oh, he's a guitarist in Harlequin." I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." So anyway, anyone that I've been with at the
Right
games, I'm
on.
like, "Yeah, that guy's part of Harlequin." Yeah, cool, cool. So that was my introduction to you, seeing you there, hearing about Harlequin, and then obviously being to Jets games since seeing you play. And then if I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there. I put an ad out a few weeks ago. I was selling a white Les Paul,
Yeah.
and who takes the ad and replies to me?
Well,
Derrick
first of all,
Gottfried.
who's always on Marketplace
Yeah.
looking at guitars?
And at first I looked at the name like, wait a minute. Okay, this guy's serious. This isn't, is this still available? This isn't one of those
Oh, I
where I
don't
get
waste people's
where I
time.
get ghosted the next
Yeah.
day. So so you came over, you played this white Les Paul. That was my first, I'm gonna say my first real guitar. I did have a nice, really nice Schecter before. That was my first real guitar I got, but moved on a little bit from it and just own preference. And I thought maybe I'm gonna sell this thing. I don't like it sitting around. It's good guitar. Someone needs to do something with it. And I thought someone's gonna buy it. They're gonna trash it or whatever, however it goes. But then you came over and you played it, and I was watching you play it, and I thought, okay, well, if he's gonna take this thing, it's going to a good home.
Well, I hope so. And I'll tell you right now, you would not recognize the guitar. It's now black with a Jets logo on it, and there's yeah, so you won't recognize the car. The guitar. You'll see it there,
Yeah.
but you'll go, oh, that's not the guitar he bought, but it is, because that's the one I'm dedicating to that band, and I've it's actually being done right now. He sent me the options as to what I want put on it, and I've picked it out, and he's going ahead with it right away. And I have the pickups. I thought I had the pickups. Where the hell are my pickups? I have a set of pickups I'm going to put in it. I'm going to probably repurpose the EMGs. I'm not sure yet. Actually, those are pretty nice pickups. I heard them.
Yeah, they're all right.
I played the guitar, and I mean, it's quiet, and it's got a lot of output. So I'm not sure yet. I might keep the EMGs, but I also have another set of these TJ Silger pickups
Okay.
that I really like, that are in my other Les Pauls. Like he was the guy who was doing guitar teching for Doc Walker, and he ended up on the Kiss tour doing guitar teching for Paul Stanley, and I think he did he was in an opening band for Kiss, and just sort of did a quick setup on one of Paul's guitars, and Paul was like, "This is how the guitar should play, man. You're hired," and just took him with him. And now he's with Morgan Wallen, so he's just gone like through the roof. But he did leave me with one more set of pickups, so I'm going to use those on something. And I thought it was going to be this guitar, but we'll see.
Excellent. So my guitar buddy's watching this. I'm the guy in the memes that put the black EMGs on the white Les Paul. I'm sure someone's seen that before. That was the ultimate sin. But Derrick has removed the EMGs,
And the guitar is now black. And actually, when
and
he
it's
sent me
black
the
now.
mock-up, when you see the guitar with the black pickups, now it's like, now that looks good. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because the guitar's black. It's like it's the Jets logo, but it's very shaded. It's really dark looking. I'll send you a picture when I get it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I've been using that as my claim to fame now that my old guitar will be at the Jets games.
that'll be the one.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's really cool, and I'm so happy that a guy like you who is going to purpose this thing has bought it, and it's not, you know, it was either that or I was hoping someone was going to use it for their first guitar and their first, I say real guitar, just being their first, something that's not an entry level, right?
Instruments have stories.
Absolutely.
I still have my very first guitar. By the way, I got to say thank you to, is that Sharon?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't really. My eyes are terrible, but I can read what she said, and that's thank you. Yeah, I mean, guitars are instruments have stories. Pretty much every one of my instruments do have a story. I could grab any guitar within reach, and this one's got a story. Any guitar that I grab that's in reach has a story, and that one will have a story.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have enough guitars behind you.
I do.
There's some stuff hanging there.
And I feel guilty when I don't touch one. Like I was telling you about, I think I was telling you, I can't remember who I was telling about my favorite Strat. Oh, you were talking about building a Strat, and probably my best Strat. It hangs upstairs, and I never play it. When I play the Strat that I almost always play is this. I don't know if you can see the blue one behind there with the rosewood. It's just again, I've got the pickup in there is one of the PRS Dragon 2s. Those are such great pickups, and honestly, I got those on the advice of TJ when I couldn't get another set of his. He said, like I said, I got a lead on some PRS pickups, and he said the Dragon 2s, and I said, yeah. He said those are great pickups, so I ended up buying 3 of them. My best Strat is this one that hangs upstairs, and I feel guilty when I've got some great guitars hanging around me, and I don't play them enough. I pick them up and the strings are rusty, and it's like, oh, at least change the strings, play it for a half hour and then put it away again for 6 months. It's not right.
It happens.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Derrick, I appreciate you jumping on tonight. I mean,
it's been a pleasure.
I said before, you're one of the most accomplished musicians that has been on here, and it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you and hear the stories of the past. You've been doing this for longer than most of my guests. No offense there.
I've been
There's
doing
just
this
a lot of
longer
young
than
guys.
you've been alive. I know that.
I had 16-year-olds on last week, so
that's awesome too. I mean,
it was so great.
They need that support, I thank you for doing it, because we need these outlets. Music is always changing. The way it's presented is changing. The way it's being made is changing. The way it's being consumed is changing. So we need stuff like this too. So man, I appreciate it. And if if you ever need or want me back, I'd love to come back, talk about anything that's happening. I'm always trying to be progressive. I'm going to keep releasing new music. I'm going to try to encourage George to go as long as he's willing and able to deliver, and keep playing with other bands as well. But yeah, I appreciate
absolutely
it.
Yes. No, I would love to have you back on. We will we'll line that up. While I have people on here, tomorrow night, first annual music extravaganza, the ladies rule the stage. This is the I believe it's the Backpacks from Heaven, sorry, at Times Changed. I'm going to be there. I'm live from Times Changed tomorrow night. This is going to be fantastic. So, anyone watching, I do think it is a sold-out event now, but however, I will be there to help the people who can't be there, and I'll live stream the show from there. And it's going to be a great time. Tomorrow night, Times Change. Just want to throw that in before we end. But yeah, once again, Derrick, appreciate you coming on. I'd love to have you back on here. I mean, if there's more singles coming out, what better time to have you back on and talk more about your solo work?
There is, like I say, there will be one coming out in just weeks, and if that's too soon, there will be another one a couple months after that. So they're recorded and ready to go.
Perfect.
I appreciate
you may be a future guest on my guitar nights where we just talk gear for an hour and a half with 6 people. So I'm sure Ronnie would love it. So
yeah, we could do that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, cool. I'll chat with you later. Anyone watching her now, you're sticking around. Paradise on Fire coming up in 10 minutes for another interview talking punk rock. Thanks, Derrick.
Hey man, my pleasure. Does this ever get posted as a link that people could watch later?
I'll send you the link. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll always be there on my page, but I'll send you the link. And I did post the link for this and the YouTube page before we went live, but I will send it to you so you can do something with it as well.
Sure. That's great.
Okay.
Cool, Joel.
Okay. Thanks. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.